Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to go through some articles that have to do with the New World Order and the beast system that they're trying to implement. And I wanted to start with this article from The Byte by Dan Rubitsky. It says that a former Google executive warns that AI researchers are creating God. Mo Goddard believes that the singularity is coming and that AI poses a serious threat to humanity. Okay, he's talking about the singularity here. And for those of you who don't know, that scientists and engineers have been talking about this for decades. I'll just read this really quick. The technological singularity, or simply the singularity, is a hypothetical point in time in which a technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unforeseeable changes to human civilization. According to the most popular version of the singularity hypothesis, called the intelligence explosion, an upgrade, an intelligent agent will eventually enter a runaway reaction of self-improvement cycles. These machines will be able to replicate themselves, and each new and more intelligent generation appearing more rapidly and causing an explosion in intelligence and resulting in a powerful superintelligence that qualitatively far surpasses human intelligence. So it's about self-replicating machines that are no longer dependent on humanity to make new machines. They're self-reproducing and smarter than humans, which hasn't happened yet. Not quite yet, but it is. Let's see here. Now, come back to this article. He's warning that the singularity is coming and that AI poses a serious threat. Before I go on to read this short little article, I just wanted to go back to what Elon Musk said back in 2014. And he says that artificial intelligence, building it, is like summoning a demon or the demon. So he was at a MIT Astro Sentinel symposium, and they asked of Musk, about artificial intelligence and how it's growing. And he says, I think we should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I had to guess at what our biggest existential threat is, it's probably that. So we need to be very careful with artificial intelligence. I'm increasingly inclined to think that there should be some regulatory oversight, maybe at the national and international level, just to make sure that we don't do something very foolish. With artificial intelligence, we're summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he sure can't control the demon. Doesn't work out. And the next question was, so I'll take it there will be no HAL 9000 going to Mars. And HAL 9000 is the evil robot from 2001, for those who don't know. The one that turned on the crew, killed the crew. So then attempted to kill the last character. But Musk says, HAL 9000 would be so easy to deal with in comparison to the AI he's talking about. It's way more complex. It'd put HAL 9000 to shame. That's like a puppy dog. So pretty crazy stuff. I was thinking about this years ago and talking about it, just the potential dangers of this, because we've got algorithms that just run everything now, and they are socially engineering us and telling us what is and isn't acceptable, pushing certain subjects, keywords to the bottom of the pile where people just don't hear anything about it, and we collectively forget about it. And I think that's by design in some ways. And they haven't perfected the technology, but I'm going to start with this guy's dire warning, or go on to talk about this. This Google exec is saying the same thing, that we are creating a god with this AI technology. According to a former Google executive, the singularity is coming. And what's more, he says that it poses a major threat to humanity. Mo Goddard, formerly of chief business officer for Google's moonshot organization, which was called Google X at the time, issued his warning in a new interview with the Times. In it, he said that he believes that the artificial general intelligence, AGI, the sort of all-powerful sentient AI seen in science fiction, like from Skynet, the Terminator, is inevitable, and that once it's here, humanity will very well find itself staring down an apocalypse brought forth by godlike machines. Goddard told the Times that he had his frightening revelation while working with AI developers at Google X who were building robot arms capable of finding and picking up a small ball. After a period of slow progress, God had said that one arm grabbed the ball and seemed to hold it up to the researchers in a gesture that to him seemed like it was showing off. And then he says, I suddenly realized this is really scary. It completely froze me. And the reality is, he added, we're creating God. But this goes on to talk about how Elon Musk warned of this back in 2014. This has been in my mind since about 2010, 2011. I was thinking how these super intelligent machines, autonomous machines, are going to play a major role in the Antichrist system, the beast system, and the New World Order, and implementing all that stuff. It's just going to be an incredible tool because, of course, I think that Satan wants to imitate God because God is all-knowing. He can be in all places. He's omnipotent, omniscient, omnipotent, can do anything, see everything. And Satan is limited, but he will create a system where he can artificially do that, where he can see everything, can track everyone, know everything, and quantify it, all that stuff, And it could be done through a supercomputer like this. So, pretty scary stuff. But I wanted to read this article also about a CNN global contributor. He said it's time to abolish the U.S. state borders and adopt China-style regional government. So, I think this is pretty funny. This is from Truth in Action. And in this article, this guy says that the global strategy advisor who provides regular commentaries for international media was named one of Esquire's 75 most influential people of the 21st century. Are you impressed yet? If you translate global strategy advisor to global elite shill and 75 most influential people of the 21st century to dubiously titled expert who socialists want you to bow to, then you can see what he is spewing for what it is. A glimpse at the New World Order as planned for America. So, yeah. Thought that was interesting. And I'm seeing more and more of these. There's this temple being built in Berlin that's joining all faiths. It is a synagogue, a church, and a mosque all together, which the Pope has been pushing this agenda. And I think they're trying to bring together a one world religion, one world system. They're going to try to do a one world language, all this stuff. I mean, this is the stuff that's prophesied in the Bible, Revelation, and they're calling it a Chermoscagogue. I guess that's what they're calling it. But essentially what you need to know is it just covers all three faiths. And I'm just seeing, this is just one example of many that I'm seeing. I'm going to do another video on this soon, but they are everywhere. They're popping up everywhere all over the world where they're just joining all these. It's one of the ways they're going to implement one world religion by primarily merging the three major world religions. And they're doing it right in front of our eyes. And the Pope is moving right along with this. And this is not a knock against Catholics, but I believe his intentions are not good when he's doing these things. I'm going to do another video on this, but check this out. This is one of the buildings. Their symbols are everywhere. You can see the symbols. And make of this what you will, but look at this. This building in the Vatican is a serpentine head, and it's got scales on top, scales on the inside. You have the eyes, the serpentine eyes on the end. We've got you kind of, in certain lights, it look more like slits here, but we've got the fangs. And then on top of this stage is this grotesque, bizarre looking sculpture of what's supposed to be Christ coming out of, I forget what they claim it is, but it looks like they're Antichrist coming out of a hell mouth. That's what it looks like. And you've got a couple bishops next to him. It looks like an unholy trinity here at the bottom. You got these three. These two are bishops, I think, and then we've got the Pope here. I believe that's Francis. There's John Paul. This building's been around for a while. This is John Paul sitting on his throne, his holy throne, because we're supposed to worship a dude. I mean, this has just got heresy written all over it, to me, in my opinion. This isn't a knock against Catholics, but please, if you disagree with me, hey, let me know. Let me know in the comments. But also wanted to cover this story, that the heartbeat bill in Texas that was passed on September 1st is now being loopholed by the Satanists, the Satanic Temple. Now, something you have to understand about these groups. When we say the Satanic Temple, it hasn't existed for very long. These groups I believe, are just branches of the same tree. And this is just a newer branch, and it goes deep. And they're very, this is for the, we can call it a psyop or whatever you want to call it, but this is for the regular people that want to worship Satan. And this is not the elites at work, and are at work, and this is part of that system, but it's just a lower level, lower tier thing. But I mean, this is the symbolism they've chosen to use. This is the Baphomet, and it is an androgynous being, and they've cleaned up the symbol. It usually has female breasts exposed on this, but it's got the head of a goat and the feet, legs. It's got a staff of fire representing wisdom. There's a lot of symbolism in this, but basically it's we've got the as above, so below, the Masonic and Illuminati creeds. I mean, I just call it the Luciferian or Satanist agenda, and there's a lot of branches of this, and there's a lot of things that aren't complete truths, but they share kind of with the common man and start these movements. And I think this has been started on purpose, and the symbolism has been chosen on purpose, but they claim that they do not affiliate with the God himself. This is not their deity, they claim, but they sort of revere John Milton's depiction of Satan in Paradise Lost. And let me see, where is it? Yeah. Satanic Temple does not believe in or worship a literal Satan, so they say. They revere Satan as described in the works of English poet John Milton and the Romantic movement, an intellectual movement that originated in late 18th century Europe as a powerful symbol of rebellion against authority. So, this is crazy because right after this, it says the Satanic Temple's 7 tenets include a belief that one's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. Now, you're going to see this a lot if you study the Aleister Crowley movement, the Lima. See, these are other branches of what is ultimately the larger picture of Satanism, Luciferianism, and this system that's going to be moved towards worshiping the Antichrist when he does come. But these are just different branches of the same tree. But the Satanic Temple believes in these 7 tenets. And what they've done is when they go in and have these abortions, they will actually recite. The abortionists will help them too, and tell them before they do the procedure in preparation to tell the patient that to recite their tenets. They'll work with them to say their satanic tenets. And once the abortion is completed, they will say their affirmations and things like this. And they admit that this is their satanic ritual for child sacrifice. They will admit this. Okay. I don't know how widespread this is. I'm gonna have to look at the statistics, but this is going on. These abortionists will work with them and tell them this. Hey, good, say your affirmations. We're about to, they flow right with this stuff. So The life of each human being begins at conception. Abortion will terminate the life of a separate, unique, living human being. Okay, this is what the law says, but the Satanic Temple argued that this practice was an unconstitutional effort by the state to impose its religious views onto vulnerable women. Furthermore, claimed that under Missouri's RFRA law, satanic women could not be forced to comply with these procedures. Instead of answering whether RFRA protected members of the Satanic Temple from abortion restrictions, the court dismissed the case. And here we go. To prevent similar rulings, ministers for the Satanic Temple created an abortion ritual in which a woman affirms her own autonomy, obtains an abortion, and then concludes the ritual. So, I don't know if you're aware, but this is what's going on. And it's pretty disturbing. So, it goes on to say, since the abortion is part of the ritual, the Satanic Temple argues subjecting a woman to a waiting period is akin to the government interfering with a baptism or communion. In February 2021, the Satanic Temple filed a new lawsuit against Texas, arguing that the state was violating the religious liberty of its new plaintiff, referred to as AMDO. So they're using this religious loophole. That's what's going on. They're admittedly saying this. I mean, this is you can say they did it for legal purposes, but they've admitted that it's a satanic ritual. So pretty disturbing stuff going on. I'm going to cover a lot of these subjects in more depth here soon. I'm working on some videos. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.